So today I'm going to be showing you guys a trick that I came up with a long time ago. Since then, I've seen other variations of this same trick because there's really no originality in magic. Everyone's just doing the same old shit in different ways. I'm talking to you, illusionist. You fucking pansy clothes wearing motherfuckers. I'm on to you guys. Well, anyways, for this trick, simple enough, we need a card selected. In this case, we'll go for the, is that the Five of Hearts? Is that the fucking Five of Hearts? Is that the fucking Five of motherfucking Hearts of this fucking deck that I fucking have fucking put away so many fucking times, you piece of shit ass fucking not using a mother condom ass piece of fucking god fucking ass fucking dickery piece of shit ass fucking Five of fucking Hearts, you son of a bitch. Well, anyways, as far as the actual trick goes, you have a card selected. In this case, we'll go for the 10 of spades. The spectator can sign this card on the face, however it is that they choose to. In this case, they leave a message that I'm sure is not visible on the camera, but is a good message to my haters out there. This card gets lost in the middle of the deck, and the proposition is made that you are going to find your card and commit to the fact that you're going to cut to one card, and it's going to be their card. So you give the deck one of these fancy Buck Twins bullshit shuffles that I'm sure you've seen way too many fucking times in your life, and you finally say, you know what? I'm committing myself. This right here is your card. To the point where I'm going to let you sign the back of the card in the same that you signed the front of the card, because I'm so committed that this is your card. I'm going to leave it to you as a little souvenir so you remember this momentous occasion. So they sign the back of this card the same that they did the front. And you have, in fact, committed yourself to one card. The card is the 7 of clubs, which is in no way, shape, or form the card that they picked. But at this point, you act flustered. You say, oh, shit, 7 of clubs. And the ink doesn't come off of the 7 of clubs. Oh, what the fuck am I going to do now? Oh, I'm sure there's a way to fix this. What card did you pick? Oh, the 10 of spades? I'm sure that's somewhere here. Oh, there it is, with your signature on it. Damn. Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to find a way to get the ink off of the back of this card and onto the 10 of spades. So we'll do that this way. We'll just get our magic thumb here, and we'll just rub the ink off of the 7 of clubs and onto the signed 10 of spades. Yeah, so that's a trick. It's a version of the anniversary waltz, only it's done with any deck that you want. All you need is a Sharpie marker, and hopefully you can get massive brownie points from your spectators, assuming that they do have the mental capacity to understand what happened in this trick. So this trick is as basic as it gets. You need a marker. You have a card selected. In this case, we'll go for the 5 of spades. I'll tell you what, we're going to use this card because it's a little bit more visible. So you have a card selected. In this case, we'll use this card already. We're ignoring that signature just because I don't want to ruin another card. So they sign the face of this card in whatever way they want. Usually I'll do this for 2 spectators, and that way you interact with many people, and that way you change the perception of the planet. Faggot. So anyways, this card is going to get controlled right to the top of the deck, and you make the proposition to the spectator that you're going to find their card, and that you are so committed that you're going to let them sign the back of the card that you cut to. So at this point, you do any sort of false cut that you want. Insert your basic bitch Buck Twins bullshit here, but you need to have this card stay on top. So remember, this is their card. Of course, the signature is not here yet. So once you do get and cut to this card, you could say to them that they're going to sign it. Once they do sign it, it's important that you retain a break underneath the second card so you can do a double lift. We're going to be doing a special move here that's hotly debated in the magic community as to who came up with it. But personally, I don't give a fuck. So for this, you're going to do a double lift and show that you cut to the wrong card. At this point, I'd like to do another double lift and show that the ink doesn't come off, which is another convincer as to the finale when you transfer the ink from one card to another. So you rub this card in a sexless fashion until they realize that the ink does not come off. And you show, in fact, that you got the wrong card, the Queen of Hearts. That's not the card they picked. So you're going to do the KM move, which sounds like a brand of sex jelly. but in this case, it's a cleanup move, which is ironic enough, that allows you to show this card and still put it down on the table without showing the back of it. So we'll go over this move in detail. You do a double lift. Now, I've gotten a break again under the face-up card, and what's going to happen is that you're going to use your right hand to slide the card over towards the right. The deck in your left hand is going to then kill itself. I guess that's the term. It's going to kill itself and face down. So what's going to happen is two actions. You're going to use the back of your fingers to push the back card square with the rest of the deck as you use this thumb right here to flick on the face of the queen. So what that does is that it allows you to show the back of the queen, supposedly to be signed in this case, and it allows you to take it off of the deck and put this card on the deck without them seeing it. So one more time, you're sliding this card over, and as the gesture of flicking the upper left corner is supposedly done, for whatever reason, illustrating that this isn't their card, you're going to do the KM move, as it's called, where these fingers also facilitate in the action. These fingers right here. So as you are pushing with these back fingers the card square of the deck, you are flicking out the queen and leaving it on the table. So what that leaves you with is this card on top of the deck and the queen, which supposedly has a signature on the table. One more time for the motherfuckers from France that refuse to pay attention in any of my goddamn videos. I'll show you guys this one more time. Don't fucking get your panties in a goddamn tie. So one more time, you're going to have a double. This is a double. Remember that. This card gets slid towards the right. This hand covers the deck momentarily. And they use the fingers of the right hand to push the card square of the deck as the left thumb flicks off the corner and the queen is dropped. So at speed, it should look like that. And that is convincing enough that you have now dropped the queen face down with the signature on the back of the table. So what's going to leave you is this card here, which of course your wrist is facing the opposite way. You don't want to do this because that would be exposing the method and ruining it prematurely. So at this point, you have the deck face up in your left hand. You cut it. I like to have a break so that I could spread to the card quickly. Of course, this is done under the context of, oh, shit, I messed up. What was the card you picked? Oh, it was the Six of Hearts? Yeah, that's your signature. At this point, sometimes I like to add the convincer of getting a break below the card below their card and then going, yeah, damn, there's no way to get that signature off. Flashing the back of this one cleverly to the spectator, and then I could put that card on the table. I don't do that a lot, but if I have a picky bunch of people that are autistic and they like to know what's going on because they're selfish, then I will do that little convincer. But otherwise, I'll just out-jog the 6, and we are good to go. Now you're going to do a Monty move, which has been popularized by the 2-card Monty, the original version, not the one that David Blaine added in 1997 to the delight of socially awkward people that were learning magic, such as, not myself because I've never been socially awkward, but you have the 6 of Hearts, and you're going to show that the 6 of Hearts supposedly does not have a signature behind it, and the signature is behind the Queen of Hearts. This is the illusion that you're going to give. So with your right hand, you're going to reach over with your thumb underneath, and you're going to hold the cards in this way. With your left thumb, you're going to flick the 6, and as your hand revolves and turns over, you're just going to switch the cards and flick this bottom card. So that should give the illusion that you are flicking the 6 and then flicking the 6 again. So what that does is that it shows a signature on the front and no signature on the back, which is a fantastic illusion. So one more time, I'll slow that down. You flick the 6, and then as your hand turns over, you are just switching the cards. It's not done in a jerky fashion, as I've seen too many people fucking do and ruin the illusion, but it's done in a casual and smooth fashion, and that way the illusion is actually pretty perfect. So we get the 6, you flick it with your left thumb, you turn it over, you flick it again, and this time you put it in your left hand, and you're ready to do the brush off move. Now there are two different ways that I do this trick. Usually, either I'll do this little flick where supposedly the ink transfers from one card to this card, or I could do it a little bit slower, and it really depends on the crowd. So what I'll do in that case, in the other way, is that I'll show the 6 here, I'll show the 6 back here, I'll go back one more time, and this time I'll put the cards back to back, pretend to do some little magic fucking motion, and then as I separate the cards, it looks like the ink jumped from one card onto the other card in a slower fashion. It really depends on the vibe of the audience, but usually I'll go for this one right here, which has a more visual nature. So let me explain that. So for this, one more time, you flick here, you flick this, you put that card in your left hand, which they think is the 6, but it's really the queen. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to do the most obvious top switch that has ever fucking been done. But with the ink, they're not going to be looking at the board of the cards, they're going to be looking at the ink, which should hopefully give the illusion that you transfer the ink from one card onto the other card, just like that. You're not going to go for neatness here. You're not going for a David Williamson, I'm trying to fool the fucking guy so they don't beat me up top switch. You're going for a very open top change because you're using it as a color change. So what you're going to do is that you're flicking this, and at some point, whenever it is that you deem acceptable, you are going to just switch the cards just like that and keep flicking with your left thumb. So one more time, you're flicking with your left thumb, you're going to square the cards up, and at one point you're just going to switch the cards and keep flicking. So at speed it should look like this. It should just look like the ink transfers over from one card onto the other card. Now the other version, what I like to do is I'll do this, I'll get back to this position, so then the cards are face up, and I just put them back to back. You don't want to do it like this because then it'll be a little bit too obvious as to what's going on. So I like to just keep it square, make some sort of magical gesture, and then show that the ink is transferred from one card onto the other card. So this leaves the spectators with a nice little souvenir of this momentous occasion. Oftentimes I'll rip this in half and give it to one and then give it to the other. Whoever looks like they're going to suck my dick the most, that person will probably get the card. Now as far as this, I don't know if you guys want me to send this to you. Leave a comment, I guess. Maybe I'll throw in an extra deck in there. So leave a comment if you guys want this, whatever, I don't care. But that's a trick that you can do anytime, anywhere with a borrowed deck. Please give it justice, give it the practice it deserves. The hardest part of the move is this little flick off right here, but once you get the actual action down, it's a great utility move that you can do in other tricks. So make sure you practice that. Also, please
when I see you again, 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 when I see you again.